sitting here. I'm actually doing deliveries for Postmates right now, and I'm waiting to get a job. But I did happen to notice on the map that real close to here there is something called Pocket Park, and it only has a 1 review. It's a 1-star review. And now I'm curious, so I'm gonna bring you guys along so we can go figure out what Pocket Park is. Let's go. Okay, so it says that it is down this little alley. There we go. So we will see if that is actually true. It's a tiny little park. It quite literally is a pocket park. Oh, it's a private park. Interesting. Okay. Well, that answers that. That is Pocket Park. It's interesting that it's only for the residents in the area. But, yeah. There you go. Mystery solved. You know, I gotta say, I'm a little jealous. I kinda wish that I had a pocket park. I think we all need a pocket park. Just so that we can say, pocket park. Oh, honey, don't mind me. I'm just going to the pocket park. I'm just gonna take the dog over to the pocket park. Well, it's such a nice day. Why don't we just go hang out at the pocket park? Hey everybody, so if you are in any kind of situation like pretty much everybody, you're staying at home a bit more. There's some things happening in the world. So, yeah. So I thought I would share with you some of my favorite books and things to do, since I'm sure some people are probably looking for things to read and do. Now I know access to some of these may be a little tricky, but if you've got a way to download them digitally, you can do that as well. But these are just my 2 cents, and hopefully you enjoy. Alright, so first I'm going to talk about one of my favorite, not really series, but basically all books by this author. I love her books. This series takes place in the real world. Everything is modern day. I believe it's all modern day. Most of it's all modern day. But there's always a sense of whimsy and magic to it. It's really great. So in this one, for example, one of the characters has the ability to inspire certain things, emotions, memories, things like that, with the food that she cooks from the vegetables and fruits from the garden. It's just really such a great book. I mean, honestly, as you can see, it is well loved. I have read this book so many times I've lost count. So I highly recommend. And she's got a whole slew of these. So within this specific series, there is this book, and then the next one, First Frost. First Frost, it takes place a little bit after the first book, and this, I think, was initially written as a standalone, so you don't necessarily need to read these, together, or I would do it in order still, because you're going to be confused in this one if you don't, but yeah, these are great. Another one that I really enjoyed is The Girl Who Chased the Moon. This one, also very magical. All of these books are definitely going to be a little more focused on life and romance, so they're fairly quick reads. They're just pleasant, nothing too intense. I mean, it touches on some darker things, topics, but doesn't get too wrapped up in them. And then another one is Lost Lake. I did mention I love this author. Forewarning. You were forewarned. So those are all the books that I have on hand. I have a lot of other books in storage by this author, so those are just the ones that I kept that I read the most often. Like I said, cannot say enough how much I love these books. So definitely go check those out. The next series, unfortunately, I don't have the first book on hand. That one is also in storage, but these ones are, it's a series of 3 books. So here's the last 2. We've got Thunderhead and The Toll. These are by Neal Shusterman. The first one is called Scythe, and it's kind of a reddish cover. This series is so good. So good. It takes place in like way future world when basically the world looks very, very different. Humans don't die anymore. They're able to essentially regenerate. And so they've got not only a massive artificial intelligent computer called the Thunderhead that basically takes care of people, gets things done, runs the world essentially just to make sure that everything is running smoothly and everybody's happy. It's not a crazy computer situation, so you don't have to worry about a repeat of anything like that. But then you've also got an entire society of essentially Grim Reapers, and they're called Scythes, and they're responsible for population control. Yeah, I don't want to like talk about it too much more to give it away, but so good. It's very interesting, and you're kind of never really sure what's gonna happen, and yeah, it's great. The third book that I have on hand is a bit of a self-plug, and that's my book. So this is Charlie and Bax and the Market of Under. It is a book written for more around like middle school age, but it's a lot of fun, and it's a cute, short little read if you're interested. I am still working on the second one, so someday there will be a second one. But if you're interested in supporting an author that you know somewhat, or just, indie author, this is self-published through Amazon, so I put all this together. The artwork is by Anne Sutherland, my mom. Yeah, so it just basically a bit of a passion project, and I wanted to publish a book, so I did. But this one is about 2 kids, Charlie and Bax, and they suddenly one day stumble across a baboon in a spacesuit. And this baboon in a spacesuit takes them on a wild adventure through the universe where they are charged with finding a certain missing object. Here you can see a quote from the book: "Enjoy the ride and please hang on to the monkey." That pretty much tells you how the rest of the book reads, right there in that sentence. So if that sentence intrigues you, you should go check it out. If you live in Colorado, it is also available at certain tattered covers. I do know some of them are running low/out, so if you don't find it at your local tattered cover, feel free to ask them. The more you request it, then they will order more from me, or you can purchase it on Amazon. The next series, unfortunately, I don't have on hand. It is in storage at this point, but it is by Garth, and it is the Abortion Trilogy. Well, that's actually what it used to be called, but then he expanded the series, so now I believe it's the Old Kingdom series. Pretty sure. So the original series was 3 books. The first one is called Sabriel, and it's about Sabriel. And then the second one is Lyriel, and the third one is Abortion, and those both are predominantly following Lyriel. Sabriel does come into play in those later books, but she is not the main character in those ones. Then later on, more recently in the last couple of years or so, he's written more books in that world, which I was so excited about when I discovered. And those are taking place in different points of time. So there is one that takes place way, way before that first trilogy, and then there's one that takes place more around the time of the trilogy as well. So you get a whole span. He's also written short stories in his short story book called Across the Wall. Either way, again, those are books that I have read, once again, I have no idea how many times, because they are so good. I love those books. The story with those, I would say, It's a magical kingdom connected to the normal, well, a normal world, not necessarily our normal world. And we don't really know much about how it happened because that was all way in the past. But in the magical world, there are essentially zombies. Although they're not referred to as such, and it took me several readings before I figured out that's basically what they are. But you've got a single person in every generation called the Aborson who is responsible for making sure that all of the dead remain dead. And they can pass through the gates of death. They battle all sorts of creatures and they use bells and things like that, so it's all very sound-based magic for them. It's just, there's so much to it. The world is expansive and interesting and very unique. So again, that series as well, highly recommend. Now, all of those are obviously fiction books, so if you are not really a fiction reader, I do have another suggestion. If you're interested in business at all, or if you have a business or anything like that, I would highly recommend Book Yourself Solid. This is by Michael Port. This book is actually really, really good. It provides a lot of great information, and if you follow along with the steps and various work problems that you have to, answer questions and things like that throughout the book, you'll actually discover a lot about your own business and the services you provide. And it will help you better figure out how to promote yourself to people. His whole thing with this book is how to promote yourself and get solid booked without the creepy, uncomfortable marketing. It's purely just talking about how you help people and sharing that information so that, maybe this person doesn't actually need your service, but they know of somebody else who does, and so they tell that person about it and everything like that. It's all super great. So, very interesting read. If you are interested in business, definitely read this. I almost forgot to mention, actually, another way to read this book, and if you are interested in supporting me, is to go to my Patreon. I will include the link below, as well as somewhere on the screen. We'll see where it fits. But just go check it out and see. The digital copy of this book is included with the $5 level. And then the next level, which I don't remember how much it is, I'll include it somewhere over here, should include a hard copy of the book. I'll provide some of the details. But that's another great way to get a copy of the book and obviously to support an independent artist. Yeah, I would love it. You'll also get exclusive access to behind the scenes content, to the Discord where any of my supporters can chat, they can keep up, we'll do giveaways periodically, things like that. Just lots of good stuff. Fair warning, I'm a bit of a nerd.